सद्गुरु के सुमिरन के नहीं जीवन को है। बिना सद्गुरु के सुमिरन के नहीं जीवन को है। गर्भ में दुख पावता भजन प्रभु की सताई है। गर्भ में दुख पावता भजन प्रभु की सताई है। भय जब गर्भ से भय जब गर्भ से बोल तो तू पिसाई है। भय जब गर्भ से बोल तो तू पिसाई है। बिना सद्गुरु के सुमिरन के नहीं जीवन को पारी है। भजन सुंदर है सोचा विषय के सुख में जारी है। भजन सुंदर है सोचा विषय के सुख में जारी है। सुध विद नारी में भूला सुध विद नारी में भूला भजन जीवन हमारी है। सुध विद नारी में भूला भजन जीवन हमारी है। बिना सद्गुरु के सुमिरन के नहीं जीवन को पारी है। श्वास श्वास हरि सुमिरो कुशल सबरी तुम्हारी है। श्वास श्वास हरि सुमिरो कुशल सबरी तुम्हारी है। सदा फल मुक्ति हो जग से सदा फल मुक्ति हो जग से नहीं तो दुख हारी है। सदा फल मुक्ति हो जग से नहीं तो दुख भारी है। बिना सद्गुरु के सुमिरन के नहीं जीवन को पारी है। नहीं जीवन को पारी है। नहीं जीवन को भगवान शरण हूँ तेरा कोई दूसरा न मेरा कोई दूसरा न मेरा। भगवान शरण हूँ तेरा कोई दूसरा न मेरा कोई दूसरा प्रभु जानिए जन मोही, प्रभु जानिए जन। भगवान शरण तेरा, दूसरा न मेरा। चंदन चढ़ा कैसे शिर व्यासना कैसे, चंदन चढ़ा कैसे शिर व्यासना कैसे, पुष्प माला दे जोगी और कंठ नाही पाही। तेरा दूसरा मेरा, दूसरा मेरा। अनुके विकास तेरा, रवि समुद्र है घनेरा। अनुके विकास तेरा, रवि समुद्र है घनेरा। परदीप क्या दिखाऊं, मैं आग बन लगाऊं। तेरा दूसरा मेरा, दूसरा मेरा। सारे विश्व के करता, भोग दे नरता। सारे विश्व के करता, क्या भोग दे नरता। वर्षा से तो भी पाऊं, घड़ी शंख क्या बजाऊं। तेरा दूसरा मेरा, दूसरा मेरा। मन बोधि तो ही न जाने, जब बात क्या तुम्हारी। मन बोधि तो ही न जाने, जब बात क्या माने क्या गगन पागलाऊं अनहाद क्या बजाऊं बर्बाद कर दूं तेरा कोई दूसरा रहेगा कोई दूसरा न मेरा
Jai Shivdev, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the weekly Sunday workshop organized by North America Institute of Vihangam Yoga. My name is Sudhanshu and I will be the host for today. This session is very different than our weekly session which we organize at 9:30 a.m. on this bridge line. And this is different because today the format will be different. Today, the person who is coming in our session, who's our chief guest, who's our prime speaker today, he is from India and he spent his entire life in serving Sadhguru. The prime goal of his life is serving Sadhguru. We are very fortunate that today we will hear his experience about Vihangam Yoga. We will hear his experience about Seva, and we will also hear his life in Vihangam Yoga, how he see Vihangam Yoga, how he came in Vihangam Yoga, and many more. As we all know, that this satsang which we all join, it is very important for any spiritual growth we are looking for. When Swamiji was describing about the three pillars in Vihangam Yoga, Swamiji mentioned any seeker who want a spiritual growth should must follow the three pillars of Vihangam Yoga, which is Seva, Sadhana, and Satsang. What it means is serving the Guru, meditation, and Satsang means the discourse. So we are very fortunate that we joined this satsang today. It's not only Swamiji, but all Vedas, even our Nityanadi Sadguru, Kabir. Sahib Kabir has also said so many things about satsang. If I just mention one of those, Ram Bulawa Bhejiya, Diya Kabira Roy, Jo Sukh Sadhu Sang mein, so Vaikuntha na hoye. So he is comparing and mentioning that the benefit of this discourse, the benefit of this satsang is much more than the happiness of Vaikunt, than the happiness of salvation. So we are very fortunate that we joined this satsang today. We will hear our speaker today, we'll hear his thought. We have so many questions as well. We'll try to get answer of those questions. But first, as usual, we will start the session by inviting Lord Sadgurudev with the humble prayer, the Swagat Gan. So, to put the humble prayer, Swagat Gan, in his lotus feet, I would like to invite Prachi Talekarji to come forward and start the session by inviting Lord Sadgurudev with Swagat Gan. Over to you, Prachi Talekarji. Prachi are you on mute? Okay, I think Prachi is on mute. So, Yogita ji, if you are there, please
हाँ
start the session with Swagat Gan.
जी स्वागत गान आज स्वागत नित्य गुरुवर संत शुभागम आए अध्यात्म विद्या दिव्य ज्योति सोमरस बरसाए दोष दुर्गुण दूर करके शुद्ध हंस बनाइए भेद गम गति ज्ञान गर्जन शक्ति द्वार हटाइए खुले द्वारा शब्द सागर भक्त जन अनवाइए जन सदा फल विश्व शिक्षक शान आन बचाए आज स्वागत नित्य गुरुवर संत शुभागम आए बोलिए सद्गुरुदेव भगवान की जय बैक टू यू सुधांशु जी
Thank you very much, Yogita ji, to welcome the Sadgurudev and start the session with the welcome prayer, the Swagat Gan. Our next prayer to His Holiness is the Mangal Gan. Let us immerse ourselves in his thought and pray to him to eradicate all differences and ills among various classes and communities and have universal peace. Let this earth be a heavenly place with plentiful bliss, prosperity, and peace. I would again request Yogita ji to recite this beautiful composition. Over to you, Yogita ji.
थैंक यू सुधांशु जी मंगल गान विश्व शांति नाम मंगल परम गुरु को ध्याइए वर्ग द्वंद्व शांति दूर कर भाव भेद मिटाइए सार्वभौम समष्टि सत्ता ध्यात्म राज्य बनाइए भेष भाषा भाव जगमय ज्ञान पर दरसाइए समृद्धि सुख शांति धरातल स्वर्ग भूमि बनाइए विश्व शिक्षक जन सदा फल नीति स्वर अपनाइए विश्व शांति नाम मंगल परम गुरु को ध्याइए बोलिए सद्गुरुदेव भगवान की जय बैक टू यू सुधांशु जी
Thank you very much, Yogita ji, for putting forward the soulful words of Swagat Gan and Mangal Gan across. Thank you very much for starting the session with these beautiful prayers. As I was mentioning in the beginning of session about satsang, so Swamiji has written his whole spiritual experience in Encyclopedia of Spirituality, which we know as Swarved. Swarved is written by a true master. It establishes an eternal and unchanging truth that is free from all illusion. All spiritual and material concepts have been explained in simple yet direct language in this book, which means Swarved is the master key to freedom from all kind of bondages. Before going to the main discourse of today's session, main discussion, and exploring the questions in today's session. Let's go and hear some relevant compilation from this holy scripture. For this, I would like to invite Niranjanji to please come forward and share few holy instances from this holy scripture. Over to you, Niranjanji.
Thank you, Swadhansuji. Give me a minute. Jai Sagadu, everyone. Thank you, Swadhansuji. Good morning to all. I'm picking some Sarve Doha, which is related to Sadguru. अज गुरु की छाया परे सदगुरु पद अधिकार विद्या पढ़ गुरु ना बने महाकठिन व्यवहार. There are many gurus today who are a scholar of all scriptures. The followers get attached to the pleasing words of such gurus. The question is, does each scholar of scriptures can claim to be a Sadguru? The answer is of course no. Making of Sadguru does not require one to master the scriptures by reading through them. It is rather the eternal master who appears in front of eligible soul and flows the Sadguru energy, power, and authority into the divine soul in order to make the Sadguru in human form. The complete knowledge from cosmos to the Almighty become explicit to such soul after acquiring the Sadguru authority. Sadguru is the rarest authority and keeping up to the stature of Sadguru is not possible for the self-proclaimed Guru, or you can say self-acclaimed Guru. It's not possible at all. Next, Swamiji said, Aj Sadguru darshan nahi hoya pratiksha nahi यह तो गुरु पद है नहीं व्यर्थ गुरु जगमा. There is a divine process involved in making a Sadguru. Only the eternal Sadguru has the right and authority to make a Sadguru in human form. Without getting his glimpses and qualifying his examination, no one can acclaim the self as Sadguru. It is only the ignorance of the followers that they start believing such self-acclaimed Guru as a Sadguru. Then who is the true Sadguru? Sadguru is one of the six eternal elements and possesses 20 divine powers. Veda says Sadguru is the source of all knowledge prevalent into this world, but it the knowledge revealing the secret of cosmos or the divine experiences of his spirituality. To protect, inspire, guide, and be a complete mentor, Sadguru utilizes these astounding spiritual powers whenever it is required. जग जीवन से अलग है बीस कला जेहि माहि सदगुरु प्रभु के रूप हैं शब्द कला गुण जाहि. Sadguru is describing the spirituality of Sadgurudev. Sadguru's his Lord, describing the Swarabhet. What is the speciality of the Sadguru? Sadguru is a different entity than any other human or living being. Sadguru possesses 20 supremely divine power, which is completely absent in any worldly science or realized souls. In this mortal frame, the Sadguru is God incarnate and is omniscient and omnipresent, like Brahman. Sadguru magnetic personality is supreme. By the, by the mere divine blessing, Sadguru can make several saint, Mahant, and Jivan Mukts. The way the Paras, a kind of a special stone which transform iron into gold by touching, just simply by touching it. Similarly, Sadguru is infinitely great and has powers to transform humans from an ignorant person to a realized soul. And the last doha I would say today for एक गुरु तीन लोक में प्रकट गुप्त संसार कहीं आकाशवाणी भने कहीं आत्म उर्धार. There is only one Guru at one time in three lokas. It is the one who recounts or hides his identity, but is the one who constantly keep watching and guiding the truth seekers. Sometimes he conveys his message through void, which is called from sky, and sometimes goes inside the soul to teach and provide the knowledge of Brahma Vidya, to lead him into the path of infinite bliss. Hence, Sadgurudev is also called Atri. One such truth seeker was Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj, who witnessed these divine ways of reaching to deserving souls by the eternal Sadguru himself. Sadguru Sadafal Dev Maharaj has mentioned in Sarveda many such instances where he was guided by this holy master in different forms and ways. Sadguru acts in a unique and phenomenal way. It is a secret which only very devoted disciple soul of Sadgurudev can know of with the blessings of Sadgurudev. Sadguru explains this very clearly in the next Doha, but because of the time constraint, I would like to stop myself for any fault. Excuse me for the any fault. Thank you, Sadgurudev. Thank you, Sudhanshuji. Jai Sadgurudev Bhagwan.
Thanks a lot, Yanjinji, for explaining the essence of importance of Sadguru with the selective couplets of Swarved in simple words. You explained very beautifully about the importance of Sadguru. So thanks a lot for sharing these couplets of Swarved. Now we are proceeding ahead in the next phase of today's session, where we are very fortunate that in our today's session, our chief guest, our prime speaker, is a Sevajit Shishya of Sadgurudev, who is a true seeker, true devotee, who is the protector of Delhi Sant Samaj, Sri Amit Pal Singh Ji. Before we proceed ahead with his discourse, I would like to invite the president of North America Institute of Vihangam Yoga, Sri Vijay Kumar Ji, to welcome our chief guest in our today's session. Over to you, Vijay Kumar Ji.
Jai Sadgurudev. First of all, warm welcome everyone in this session where we are going to take bath in the stream of love and devotion that Amit Palji carries in his words. Dear friends, we have already witnessed that Sadhguru is complete with the fact that the stream of Sadhguru's energy is same for you and me and for Amit Palji. But what makes a difference is in the capacity to gather and hold that energy that flows from Sadhguru. And Amit Palji is one among few blessed one who has emptied his container for receiving full Sadhguru energy within him. Are we empty enough the way Amit Palji is? Because only when we are empty, Sadhguru's energy is waiting to bless us the way he blesses the soul like him. We have already known in the first session with Amit Palji that he certainly is not a normal soul like us. His journey to spirituality must have started from past several lives. That's why he's so blessed in this life the way he is today. Without taking much time, I would like to request our Honorable Amit Palji to first rekindle the memory of his beautiful journey. We would like to hear it again and again and again and again with still equal thirst because it is so much filled with love and devotion. In 15-20 minutes, please rekindle your story for those who have not heard it before, and also for us just to get the blissful bath in it. And then there'll be series of question and answers. If required, seeker can get more understanding of how they can become like you. Jai Sadhguru. Over to you, Amit Palji.
Hello, good evening, everybody. This is Amit Pal, and I'm sorry it'll be morning in America, but here in Delhi it's evening. And during this hard times of COVID-19, and also the writing that has been going on in America, I was watching TV today in Minneapolis and Miami in LA. It's 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 a very difficult situation which is prevailing nowadays in the world. And I'm very happy that still we all brothers and sisters are together today to talk about Sadhguru, to talk about Vihangam Yoga, and to learn something new in our lives. Even though we have so much agony and fire which is prevailing outside in the world, but there are certain souls of Sadhguru who will always feel protected and blessed um, uh, by his faith, that we are still safe and we can do something about Vihangam Yoga, we can talk about Vihangam Yoga, and we can talk about Sadhguru. So let me thank, first of all, Mr. Niranjan and Mr. Sudhanshu, who were after me to speak something about Vihangam Yoga to the North American Society. And they had been in constant touch with me, even though that I haven't spoken to them much before, but they were so kind and so nice, and Vipinji also, and they pulled me into it to speak to you people. So I'm very thankful to them, and I want to as Vipinji said that I need to start something by saying something about Vihangam Yoga, that how I entered Vihangam Yoga. Right, sir?
Yes, Amitji.
Yeah. Okay. So let me start by saying a small doha, which is the most powerful doha I feel in the entire Vihangam Yoga, which is Adbhut Marg Yog Vihangam, मैं तुमको बतलाऊंगा, यदि विविदित तुम साधन करियो, अमर लोक पहुंचाऊंगा. So this is the Doha which normally we see in all the vans of Vihangam Yoga and all the vehicles of Vihangam Yoga. And what does it mean? It means that the Sadguru has given a kind of a declaration to all of us, to all the human society, that that if you would come into Vihangam Yoga and by the discipline that I teach you, if you would do this Vihangam Yoga and practice this Vihangam Yoga into your life, I'm going to take you to Vaikunt, I'm going to take you to Hemkund, I'm going to take you to that spiritual world which is your real home. And this declaration, I have never heard this declaration from any guru. I have never heard this declaration from anybody else in this world. And which is the most prominent one, that we meet or we seek somebody in our lives and who will give us a declaration like this. This actually this is not possible. So this is the one thing that we all people should understand this thing, and all people should remember that this declaration is coming from such a source who really has the key to take us to that spiritual world where we actually belong. So now coming back to my life and how I came to Swamiji, I'm going to tell you a new experience which I haven't told you and which I've never told anybody, that how I got linked with Swamiji. So the previous talk that I gave the first time in the Jharkhand Sant Samaj, I had told you people that I met Swamiji the first time in Varanasi. But actually, I had met him first time in Faridabad, but I wasn't impressed. I didn't even go to the program. I was just sitting in my car. But the next time I meet Swamiji, because I wanted to meet Sadafal Maharaj, so Mohan Kalonia ji, he takes me to Varanasi. So I properly remember it was the same place that I've seen it in my dreams with Sadafal Maharaj. And instead of Sadafal Maharaj, I meet Swamiji. So when I meet Swamiji, so he welcomes me, and the first question I ask him is that, can you help me to go to reach Guru Nanak? So he smiled, said that, why do you want to meet Guru Nanak? So I said, that is my goal in life, because I'm a Sikh and I want to meet Guru Nanak. So he said very politely, he said that Guru Nanak has reached the place where he wanted to reach. Guru Nanak is safe, Guru Nanak is happy. You have to think about yourself, that where you have to reach. He asked me, he said, have I done anything in my life which is even close to 1% of living of Guru Nanak's life? Have I ever fasted? Have I ever gave my meals to the poor people? Have I ever parted my wealth with the poor people? Have I even traveled anywhere for God? Have I even told anybody about God? Have I did any prachar in my life? Have I done any seva for any gurdwara, for any of my Sikh community people? And the answer was no. So he said, if you have not done anything like this, so how can you ever expect even to meet Guru Nanak, or if you can meet Vaheguru? So you have to change yourself. You have to change yourself, and then only you can accomplish all these things. And he was very firm with me. He wasn't very polite with me. He was very firm and very stiff with me. And then the program started for the Vihangam Yoga. So I was called on the stage, and there were a few garlands that were put into me, and I was thinking about the whole process, what Swamiji had told me. And then I went back to the hotel, and the next day I had to pick up Mohan Kalonia from the ashram, which was next to Varanasi. So I went over there in the morning, and I met Swamiji again over there. And about a month back, or about 3 weeks back, I had been inducted into Vihangam Yoga. And when I had been inducted into Vihangam Yoga, there was another incident that happened with me about 2-3 years before in my life. So every Gurpurab, I used to go to the Gurdwara with my father in the morning at about 4 o'clock or 4:30 in the morning. So when I started working, when I got married, when I had children, so I was struggling very hard in my life. So there was Gurpurab when I was 31, 32 years old, that I couldn't get up in the morning because I was so tired, and I just couldn't get up in the morning, and the alarm went off at 4 o'clock in the morning. But I was tired, so I put the alarm to sleep mode, and I went back to sleep. And before I went back to sleep, I properly remembered that I told God that, God, I'm sorry, I won't be able to come to the Gurudwara today. Please forgive my sin, and I'm sorry. And as I closed my eyes, and as I was trying to go back to sleep, and just before the state where you go back into your deep sleep, and but you're still a bit awake. So I felt somebody's hand came on my forehead, and it just went horizontally all along my forehead. It was deep, warm, and it was divine. And I immediately opened my eyes, and I thought maybe it's my wife. So I went to the other room because my wife, she was sleeping with the small children in the other room. She was sleeping. I went to my parents' room. My father, mother were there, and they were sleeping, and there was nobody else in the house. And I was pretty shocked. And I looked at the time; it was about 4:45 in the morning, and I was pretty shocked. So that was a very divine experience that I have never shared with anybody. I didn't tell anybody. So the next morning, when I met Swamiji in the ashram after meeting him in the Varanasi, so Swamiji takes me to a room in which there are about 200 or 300 people, and he said that he wants to speak to me. So immediately that room was cleaned out by the people. I mean, the 200 people were out, and me and Swamiji were talking. So Swamiji said that, have you been inducted into Vihangam Yoga? I said, yeah. So he said, are you doing your meditation? I said, yes, I'm doing my meditation. But as I try to close my eyes and I'm the first stage of meditation, suddenly I'm kind of sucked up, and the whole thing just kind of goes away, goes to my forehead, and I'm not trying to control. I mean, there is no control over it. So he said, yes, there should cannot be any control by you because you are of a much higher state, yoga. So I'll put you on the third state of meditation. So immediately he put me on the third stage of meditation on the first day after meeting Swamiji. So I was very happy, and I said, okay, fine. And so I asked him, I said that, yesterday you were telling me about all these things about Guru Nanak, and today you put me on the third stage of meditation. So why do you do that? And I was still very confused about Swamiji. I didn't know, what is all Sadguru is, and what is the magic of Sadguru, and how does the Sadguru operate. I don't know nothing. So that day he said that, don't you remember on the Gurupurab day, the Sadguru had come to you and he had placed his hand on your head. So I'm trying to do exactly the same to you. I'm just trying to put you back on that track so that you can go to your 10th door. That was the indication given to you that day. And I was just, I mean, that thing he told me, and suddenly I could feel the shivers down my spine, that how come he knows about this experience, the experience that I have never told this thing to actually nobody, not even to my wife. How come he knows? And he just got up, and he just walks out of the room. And I just followed him. I said, I wanted to ask him so much more, but the time was limited and there were so many people around. So I didn't ask him nothing. And I was just still thinking about Guru Nanak. I was still thinking about the experience. I was still thinking that how come he knows what only I knew. So that was my first experience, my most intimate experience with him. And it was so intimate with him because it was my intimate call with my God. It was my intimate call with my Vaheguru. And what I told my Vaheguru, that I won't be able to come to you today. And he came, and he was the one who pressed me on my head, and he blessed me. So it was something, it was so, I was happy, but at the same time, I was very confused that here I'm trying to call Guru Nanak, and here I see this person who's dressed in white robes, who's just walking along with a stick, and who's calm, who's composite, who's just talking to the people so calmly and so nicely. And when I'm thinking about all this, so I pick up my bag and I take Mohanji and I go towards my taxi. And when I reach my taxi, so Swamiji is standing right beside the door, and he says, "Okay, we will meet again." And I sit in the car and I come to the airport and I come back to Delhi, and I'm just thinking and thinking and thinking about him. So this was my first experience about Swamiji, and his first touch when he gave me, and he put me on the third stage of meditation straight away. And that was the reason I was so much inclined towards him, and I wanted to know him more. And that was the reason why that intuition and that urge or that thirst for the 10th door, it just started coming into me because he was leading me towards it. He won't say it, but he was leading me into it, and that is the reason I was kind of so much uh, pulled into Vihangam Yoga. So this is an experience that I wanted to share with you, and many people ask me about this thing that I'm a Sikh. So how come I came to Vihangam Yoga and all this thing? So this was the main reason. What more, sir? What more can I answer you, sir?
Yeah. So thanks a lot for sharing the your journey, Vihangam Yoga journey, the initial experience, and how you came to Vihangam Yoga. But before proceeding to the next question, Samit, there are so many seekers who have questions related to the story of your 10th door opening. So before going to those questions, I would like to request you to share that Sansmaran as well, that experience as well, that how that happened when Sadhguru showered his bless on you. So if you share that experience, then we can definitely go for those questions.
Hello? Yeah. This. Um, I would like to. Uh, the experience of the opening of the 10th door, that is something that, if you would ask me, I wouldn't like to speak it to so many different people because I'm not allowed to do so. It is something that the Shishya is not supposed to disclose it to anybody. But yes, the 10th door opening is very, very important for any human being. And no matter what religion you have, either you're a Sikh, you're a Hindu, you're a Muslim, you're a Jew, anybody, but we are all humans. And all humans are having that same composition in the body as uh, as any other human being. So the spiritual journey of the human being, it only starts when the 10th door gets open. Before that, we are in nature. So if you would see the 5 stages of Hingam Yoga, on the first stage, we are taught how to see our mind, how to see the man. On the second stage, we are taught how to clean, how to cleanse our man, our mind. On the third stage, we are taught how to take your mind and focus our mind onto the 10th door. And on the fourth stage, when the 10th door is open, so then the spiritual journey starts. So once when the 10th door is open, so you leave Prakriti and you go beyond into the space towards Almighty, or towards the 11th door. But before that, we are in nature. So this opening of 10th door is a very it's if you would read in the books, or if you would read in the scriptures, there is a very little knowledge that you can acquire. But what happened to me was a very simple and a very joyful experience. So I was sitting with Swamiji in Shuna Shikhar Ashram, and Swamiji has a small cave where Sadafal Maharaj Ji attained Sadguru. So, and he also wrote uh, Sarvet Granth over there. So Swamiji sits over there with the Murti of Swamiji, and he would recite one small hymn or a doha, and the whole process of opening of a 10th door will immediately start. Swamiji, by his eyes, by his hand, he would put so much energy into the uh, disciple that the disciple is able to take his mind or his Shakti beyond the Prakriti, and the 10th door opens up. But what I would like to add here is that the disciples, what do you say, the effort is only 1%, but the 99% effort is by the Sadguru himself. So only when he will desire, only when he will want that you will be having a kind of experience like this, then only this experience will happen. So, but it's a very divine experience. It's something that you are sitting about 10 to 12 feet away from the Sadguru, and all the chakras in your body, they just start moving, and the 10th door, it just opens up in your head. So, but whatever happens, it's something, I mean, whatever you see, whatever you experience, it's something very, very divine, and it's something, it is something beautiful. I really can't describe it in words, and I'm not able, and I shouldn't also, but we all have the privilege of having that experience, if that Guru is happy with us. This much I can say.
Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing this experience, the entire process, and how it works when Sadhguru opens your 10th door. So how the entire process is and how it happened to you when you went to the Sunashika ashram. So related to this, there is one question from one of the Sadhguru seeker, Rashmi ji, and she want to ask that when your 10th door opened with the blessing of Sadhgurudev, as you said, that it's 99% blessing of Sadhguru who opens the 10th door with his own effort. So her question is, uh, what is the status of a seeker at that moment? What her mean is this remains as always open, or a seeker has to do the practice, the seva, and all other things. So how it works after that? So once Swamiji has bestows his blessings, what a seeker do after that? That's what her question is.
I think it's a beautiful question, and I'm sure that Rashmi ji, she's been guided by Sadhguru himself to ask me such a question. And about 1 hour back, I was thinking that what I'm going to share with you people, and I wanted to share an experience which I thought is not going to be good because it will show you my greediness. But I think Rashmi ji has asked me a question which Sadhguru wants that I should be sharing this thing. So once when my 10th door was open, and I was coming into Vihangam Yoga, but I really was very happy with my Sikhism religion. I wanted to go back into my Sikhism religion. And when the 10th door was open, and I was happy, and I knew that my mukti was done. But that mukti was, again, that mukti was only from that 84 lakh birth. That means the 84 lakh births. It wasn't attaining God. So once when the 10th door is open, like it's like when you're having a closed room and you have no window in it. It's just total darkness, and suddenly you just make a kind of a window on the top of the roof, which is about like 5 feet by 5 feet, and suddenly how much light will come into the room, and suddenly all that, all the muck in the room, all the dirt in the room, suddenly you'll be able to see because of the light which is coming in the room. The same thing is with the body. Once when the 10th door is open, so the light when it enters the body, when the divine light when it enters the body, so there are all sort of problems in the body that you can see them. You can see what kind of crap you have been holding on to your entire life, what kind of value systems you have, and suddenly they all everything just starts to change. So I want to share one more experience with you people, which is very, very important here, because since Rashmi ji has asked me this question, and it's my duty to tell you all. You know, so when I was going with this entire thing of Yangam Yoga, and I started coming close to Swamiji, and I was doing good business, and money was coming into me, towards me. So I was doing my proper meditation also in the morning. So when I was doing my meditation once in the morning, I had a vision. I had a vision of Baliya Ashram. So I had never been to Balia, but I had a vision over there, and I saw myself walking with Sadafal Maharaji. And Sadafal Maharaji takes me to a hut. So there were two huts over there. A hut which was a bit older one. So he takes me to that hut. There was no road. There was no pathway. It was all grass, and it was all wild grass everywhere. So he takes me to this hut. So when he takes me to this hut, so he gives me the initiation to the last bhumi. That is the fifth stage of the initiation. So he gives me. So I had this vision. So I'm very eager to meet Swamiji. So after about a week, 10 days, I meet Swamiji at his flat in Rohini Ashram in Delhi. So when I meet him and I tell him about this experience, so Swamiji is listening. So me and Swamiji are sitting alone in the room. So Swamiji, he says, have you been to Balia? I said, no. So he says, so how do you know it's Balia? I said, I know it because, I saw it and I just know. He said, okay, fine. You were in Balia and you were with Swamiji. And now, so I said, because he has initiated me to the fifth stage, so I can request you that you also initiate me to the fifth stage. So he said, okay, fine. Maybe your time has come. So then he gave me a time after about 18, 19 months on the 17th of December of the next year. So he said on the 15th, 16th of December, the annual program of Vihangam Yoga will be done in Varanasi, and then I'll take you to Bali Ashram and I'll initiate you for the fifth stage. And I was very happy. I said, okay, I can wait for 18, 19 months and then my spiritual process is going to be completed. So I was into seva, I was doing everything, and whatever a good Vihangam yogi is supposed to do, so I'm doing everything. But in the back of my head, I always knew that somehow Sadafal Maharaji is with me, and because of Sadafal Maharaji, everything is happening. And I used to always associate myself with Sadafal Maharaj. I used to always think about Sadafal Maharaj. I used to always meditate upon Sadafal Maharaj. And till that time, I never used to even meditate about Satantar Dev Maharaj. I used to touch his feet, but I never used to meditate upon him because he was a living guru. I used to meet him as a human. So somehow, there was even though he had opened my 10th door, but there was somebody that I thought that maybe Sadafal Maharaj is more powerful or whatever, more, and because he had started the Vihangam Yoga process or the Vihangam Yoga discipline, so he was more important. So I properly remember that the 18 months passed, and just before going to Varanasi, I was having dinner with my family, and I told them that when I'll be reaching Varanasi this time, so I'll be going to Balia, and then my journey of life will be complete, and I'll be meeting God. So very happily, I reach Varanasi, and my wife and one of my dear friends also was with me. And after the program was over and done with, so we went to Balia. Rishi Gopal Rishi ji was the person who took me to Balia. He is a very nice person. So he takes me to Balia, and we spend the night at the ashram. Swamiji arrives over there, and the next morning we all sitting over there in Balia ashram, so that we can be uplifted to our respective stages. So when my time came and Swamiji said something, but the process of the fifth stage of meditation wasn't complete. And somehow I knew it, whatever Swamiji had done, but he had not done enough so that the stage could be achieved. So I remember I was very much disheartened, and I spoke to Swamiji. I cried even, and I said, Swamiji, whatever the thing had to be done, you still never did it. So he just smiled. He didn't say anything. And then we packed our bags. Then we came back to Varanasi. And again I spoke to him. Again I cried. Again I requested. And he says no. He says you have to do seva. And he pointed out at all those people who were there in the Varanasi ashram that day. He said all these people are doing seva because they all wanted to be initiated on the fifth stage. So if they are waiting in the queue, you also have to wait. And you also have to do your seva, you have to perform your duties, you have to be a good disciple. Then only that thing, fifth stage of meditation is going to be kind of uploaded into you. So I came back and I was very much unhappy. But but over the years, I mean, many years have passed, like 7-8 years have passed since that incident. But from that day, I realized that Swamiji was, even though Swamiji in his Amritwani will always say or always refer about Sadafal Maharaj, but he is surely, as powerful as, or maybe himself as Sadafal Maharaj is, because he knows himself what Sadafal Maharaj talks to me, or he would kind of give me some kind of sanket. He knows everything. But till Substantal Dev Maharaj is happy with us, he is happy with the duty that we perform. He is happy what we do for the humanity as a whole. Till then, he will not give us uh, the last chapter of Vihangam Yoga. So even after the 10th door is open, it is not something that we become greedy and we just run away from Vihangam Yoga. If we will run away, that 10th door will automatically close, because it has been opened by the kripa of Sadguru. There is nothing to do with us. There is nothing divine in us. The whole divinity is about the Sadguru. The whole divinity is about the power of the Sadguru. So it is Sadguru who is manifesting all this process into us. It is Sadguru who is manifesting all this magic into all his disciples. So if we leave Vihangam Yoga, all this magic will stop. All this process will stop. If we are into Vihangam Yoga, if we are into sadhana, if we are into prachar, if we are into seva, there will be a time when Swamiji himself will be happy and he will bestow even the 5th stage of meditation to us. Okay, sir?
Ji, thanks for explaining this very beautifully, and I think Rashmiji got her answer, what she was looking for, and just want to ask question of one more seeker who also want to know that how different your experience after the 10th door opened. So his question is, what difference you find in your inner peace, anxiety, worldly desire for material wealth, physical comfort, name, fame, etc. And what's your internal reaction when you face, the adverse circumstances, when you feel hurt, or when someone curse you in front of you? So this question is of Madan Bhandari ji, and he want to know that how you deal with it. What changes the 10th door opening made in your life, like before that and after that? How different you are dealing with these situations?
Hmm. Again, I think it's a very, very beautiful question. And, well, opening of 10 door was it was the highest spiritual experience that I ever got. But there is, there are a lot many other things that I would like to tell you. When I came into Vihangam Yoga, before I came to Vihangam Yoga, I was a very aggressive man. And if someone would curse me, yes, surely I would curse him back. Um, I was very aggressive into my business. I was very aggressive with the people. All my friends knew that I was a very aggressive person. But as I came into Vihangam Yoga, as I started doing meditation, especially when I started doing third stage of meditation. So third stage of meditation was a very powerful stage of meditation, because that is the time when you are being sucked up and you feel that a kind of a cold honey is being poured onto your mind, to your brain, and it's very soothing. And you feel the power that you, even if you hit a concrete wall, you are able to knock down that concrete wall. This is the amount of power that you feel that you have. So suddenly you have this kind of a power, and people know, people around you, people who are with you, your people that you're working with, your family, your friend, they all know that what has this person got? How come this person has changed so much? And all these things are coming to you because suddenly you are alive. Suddenly, on the third stage of meditation, you are able to feel your soul, and your soul shakes right in your body, and you are able to feel your soul for the first time. So feeling your soul is also a very, very great experience. And I'm sure all the yogis, all the spiritual people who are on the third stage of meditation, they all must be feeling that. And but once when you come into Vihangam Yoga, so, and when you do sadhana, when you do meditation, the Swamiji guides you. If there is some kind of danger that you are going to be getting in about 2-3 days time, let's say if I'm going to be driving a car and I'm going to be having an accident. So Swamiji will show me exactly that stage that I'm going to be having an accident. And I should do what? 10 seconds before, maybe I should take a stop. Maybe I should just, drive on the left side of the road or the right side of the road. He will always guide us. And many times I have seen him in my meditation, telling me and guiding me about these things. So a Vihangam yogi, whenever a problem, he is approached by a problem. So already a month before or 2 weeks before, Swamiji has shown him that this is the thing that is going to be happening in your life, and this is the way that you have to act in that time. And if that problem, like if it's going to be hurting you like 100%, maybe that pain is only there with you for 10%, and maybe the 10% of the time of the duration of the problem, and eventually that problem is going to be solved. So this is a very important aspect of Vihangam yoga. Even if the tent door is open or it's not open, every Vihangam yogi, every person who will be doing Vihangam yoga, Swamiji, because he is controlling the entire world, he will show you. Right, sir?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot for answering the question of Madanji. I think he is happy to know this. We are getting so many questions for you,
Please
Amitji.
ask as much, whatever I know, I'm here to share.
Yeah. So there is one question from Chakriji, and he want to know your daily routine, that how many hours you do yoga, meditation, and your job, kids, and he want to know how you balance your personal life and abhyas.
This is also a very beautiful question, and um, I would like to share something here. Like every Sikh, like if you are born with the Sikh family, so we are taught that our sixth Guru, Guru Har Gobind Sahib, he was the first Guru who used to wear two swords. He used to wear one sword which was for spirituality, and he used to wear one sword which was for the worldly affairs. So the first time when I read about this thing, so it was very amazing that that why a Guru is wearing two swords, and those two swords are representing two worlds. One is the spiritual world, and one is the worldly world. So when I came into Vihangam Yoga, this is the most beautiful thing I learned, that how to balance your family life, how to balance your business life, how to balance your sports, how to balance your spiritual life. So for the spiritual life, you need to, like once when you come into Vihangam Yoga, at 3 o'clock in the morning or 3:30 in the morning, somehow Swamiji will wake you up, and you have to sit there and you have to meditate. Even if you start to meditation for 10 minutes initially, I think it's beautiful. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you just try to do that. And every day you need to read that Vandana book that has been given to us, and I think all the Vihangam yogis must be having that. And then we are on to doing a business, and whatever the business we do, suddenly, because when we are doing meditation, we just become more alert. We just start to listen more to people than to just say things to people. And suddenly, because of our awareness becomes so high, so the intuition becomes so high. We know exactly where to put our money, where not to put our money. And we also become so daring, because Swamiji has already shown us the way, that where we have to put the money, where we have to go forward with this thing, and where we have to I mean, suddenly, like all the things you just start to see in your meditation. When we are sitting alone with ourselves, alone in a room, whatever we see, that is the truth. It is not that you have to call up Swamiji and Swamiji is going to tell you all these things. No, whatever you will see in your meditation, that is the truth. That is the real you that you are going to be seeing, and your world that you will be seeing, and anything that you want to accomplish in your life, you can accomplish that thing through uh, through through your meditation, through your Vihangam yoga. And when you start accomplishing things in your business, and you start getting success in your business, things really change, and you also become a happier person, and you are able to give a lot back to the society, and you are able to do things for others, and you are able to help people. and that is the time when you actually shine, because the Guru is making you shine, because the Guru has given you so much power that you are able to come out of you are able to come out of your daily routines or your your daily problems of your life, and you are able to think ahead for the future, and you are able to think ahead for the future of a family, of a society, of even even for Vihangam yoga. So I would say that Vihangam yoga is, I think it's a very beautiful discipline. That once when you come into this discipline, it's a all-round progress. You don't excel in just one spirituality. And uh, and and I always tell to my wife, I always tell this thing to my children, to my friends, that if you have to meet God in your life, God doesn't want to meet losers. God wants to meet people who have excelled in their life, who have achieved themselves. How do you achieve yourself? You achieve yourself um, by uh, I mean, how do I say? Uh, when you are able when you are able to see that your soul and your mind is different, when you are able to see that your mind is playing tricks on you, when you are able to see that the soul that you have to empower your soul, that it has to take control of your mind and not the mind has to take control of your soul. So that is the time when you are on the process of the self realization process, and the self realization process will be completed when the 10th door is open. So all this process is for the self realization. If you're not happy in your business, if you're not happy in your work, you are not going to do your meditation. You are not going to be attracted towards the Hangam Yoga. So once when you start doing a bit of meditation and you start getting the experiences, and when you are in constant conversation with Swamiji every day, like maybe 10 times a day, maybe 5 times a day, and you're asking him about the answers to your problems. So Swamiji, whenever you're meditating, he will then guide you. And once when the guidance is there, so you will be excelling in your work, and gradually you will be making a better world and a better life for yourself. Is it okay, sir?
Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much, Amaji, and I think this answers Chakriji's question. And we have one more question from Tejinder Sahdevji, and he's also a Sikh, our Sikh Guru Bhai. And his question is, being a Sikh, you still do part like Japji Sahib and Rehra Sahib as per Sikhism demand? How about Mool Mantra etc.? He further asks, like, I'm also a Sikh. When I do meditation, I should see Sri Shadafal Dev Ji Maharaj and Guru Nanak Dev both together, since I was worshipping Guru Nanak all my life. He further asks, uh, can't Guru Nanak liberate us? So this is his questions, and he want your views on that.
Mm. Sorry, what was the name of the gentleman?
Uh, Tejinder Shahdev ji.
Tejinder ji, I think it's a very beautiful question you have asked, sir, and it's something that I have been struggling for about 5-6 years before I could probably anchor myself properly. And I had been always been a seeker of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and when I met Swamiji also, I asked him that I want to meet Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And even today, whenever I meet Swamiji, so Swamiji would always tell me that, are you doing the part for Guru Granth Sahib Maharaj? Are you reading Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Bani? Every time he would say. And yes, I do Guru Granth Sahib part every day. I do all my nitnem every day. And but when I do nitnem, so eventually when I'm doing the nitnem, my consciousness, it starts flowing in my body, because the 10th door is open. So whatever the Nam Japna I'm doing for Vaheguru, for the Akal Purush, so it is the same force, and the same force comes into the soul, and you can feel the presence, and you can feel that consciousness coming into you. So it is. So it is not something that because you're a Sikh, so you cannot meditate like this. And this is the same way. This is the same meditation that our gurus used to do. This is the same. This is the same. This is the same Brahm Vidya that Krishna imparted with Arjuna on the battlefield. This is the same Brahm Vidya that even the same process of meditation that our gurus did. And of course the liberation, where the liberation is concerned. I think when I had asked you, when I told you today that when the first time when I met Swamiji and I asked him about Guru Nanak, so Swamiji told me that Guru Nanak ji, he has left this world, and that he is with God. So if you have to find Guru Nanak and then you have to ask for liberation, I think it's going to be very, very difficult. If you have found the Guru who's right here, right now, and you can ask him for liberation, I think he can show you what is the process of liberation in a much faster way. And also there is one more other thing that I want to add, which I shouldn't say, or I should say, I'm not too sure. But when you are deep in a meditation, and if you have a question like this, so you kindly ask Swamiji that he should guide you, and you should be able to meet Guru Nanak. And I'm sure if Swamiji is happy, he will show you Guru Nanak Dev Ji also, and Guru Nanak Dev Ji will also tell you the same thing what Swamiji is telling you. So this is a kind of a spiritual experience. If I had this experience, maybe you will also have this kind of experience. But the one thing I want to tell you is that every yoga, every time, there is one guru which is there. And today the time is with Swatantra Dev Maharaj, and he is having the key. He is having the key to the liberalization. He is having the key that how to enter that spiritual world or the spiritual domain. So he is the only guru, true guru, the living guru at the moment. And I think it's a fantastic experience that if you can meet a living guru and you can ask him and he can guide you, I think it's a wonderful experience. I think you should take that risk. You should take that plunge, and you should have that faith to come into Vihangam Yoga and take it forward. And nobody is asking you to really, to actually leave the religion. Nobody is asking you to leave your spiritual journey towards Sikhism. But this is also a beautiful discipline. And if you would come and if you would experience it, you will actually know the difference. Is it okay, sir?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Amitji, for taking his question and explaining all the questions what he was asking. There are two questions which is similar, so I want to merge the question, and the questions are being asked by Venkatji and Lalmaniji, and he want to know that can we see our own soul and in which stage? And he further asked that what is the form of soul? Is it a light or a sound or what?
Okay. So yes, you can see your soul also, and you can feel your soul also. When you are doing the second stage of meditation, there are certain sounds that you will hear. So some people call it the anhad. Some people, sometimes you will hear a flute, sometimes you will hear some kind of different sounds. But Swamiji in his Amritwani has told many times that you are not going to be devoted towards those sounds. You have to come forward. And Vingam Yogi is supposed to just go forward. When you're in the third stage of meditation, so when you're in the third stage of meditation of Vihangam Yoga, that is probably the first time when when you feel your soul. And it's a kind of a loud jerk. It's a kind of a jerk that you feel in your body. And suddenly when you go deeper, the jerks are there even more. Like probably in a minute you will feel a kind of 100 jerks or maybe 150 jerks, because that is the kind of stimulation your soul is getting and is trying to break the shackles of the mind over the soul. And when you go deeper into the meditation, so the first kind of prakash that you see is your man ka prakash or your mind ka prakash, and then you see the soul ka prakash. And after you have experienced all the different suns which are emerging from the soul, and after you realize the full potential of the soul, then only you are able to see the prakash of the Akshabram, and then the Sadguru ka prakash. And then when your last stage comes, so Sadguru will kind of a point a finger, or kind of point you towards the Kal Purush, who is the creator, who is the God himself. So this is the way that you see all the prakashas. The first is the mind, then your soul, then is Akshabram, and then is Sadguru himself, and then he will reveal the God to you.
Yeah.
Okay, sir?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Amitji, for taking this question. There is two more questions we will take before concluding the session. So one question is from Raj Gupta ji, and he want to ask that we as a disciple have so many impurities, and we are completely incapable to even stand in front of Sadgurudev. Then where to start and what to do to become disciple of Sadgurudev?
Uh, I think it's a very, very nice and a very humble question. And this question, I think every disciple should seek, and he should look into himself. I can just remember one particular line of Kabir Saab's uh, 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 saying. It said that कि लोग दूसरों की आंख का तिनका देखते हैं और अपनी आंख का शतीर नहीं देखते हैं. I think Gupta ji is referring to that only. So once when we have seen all this, and once when we know that there are so many faults in us, and we fold our hands and we stand in front of the Sadguru, and if we come into Vihangam Yoga, and if we come and follow the science of Vihangam Yoga, so Sadguru, with his, he will shower the blessings on us. And you must understand that Sadhguru's main job is of a dhobi, is of a guy who does a laundry. So it's his job to wash our sins. It's his job to clear all the sins which we have done in our previous births, in our previous lives, and that is the main obstacle that we have to achieve ourselves. So he will cleanse all those doshas, and he will make us pure. And when we are pure enough, so then only that copulation of us with merging with God, merging with Vaheguru, or merging with Sadguru will come in. So we don't have to worry about that we have doshas or we have these kind of impurities. Automatically, he knows everything, and he will make us do all those sevas which are necessary for us, for removing all those sins or removing all those doshas that we can see or we cannot see or we have done in a previous life. We don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much for taking this question. Uh, there is one more question from Lalmani ji. So, as we all know, you are spending your most of time in Sadhguru Seva. So, just want to know from your view that how to handle the gray line of when to ask Sadhguru. So, Lalmani ji is actually trying to ask. I mean, the meaning of this gray line is, in one hand, it is said that a sevak should be so much in alert state that before even Guru asks something to do, he should know that what my Guru want. While on the second side, you should also be knowing the difference between, Man-mukhi and Guru-mukhi. So, what is the gray line that a devotee should follow that he's alert enough to do the seva, but he's not being the Man-mukhi.
Okay, um, this is a very typical and a very hard question to answer, but I will do my best. And let me also say something to you people that I'm not kind of a very big authority on Vihangam yoga. I'm just a small sevak of Swamiji. I'm just like his kind of a obedient dog. Whatever he says, I just do it. So, so the first and the foremost thing is that we need to do our meditation every day, and we need to do satsang every day with our family members, with our friends, or with the other Vihangam yogis that we meet. So, if we are doing the regular satsang with the other people, so slowly, that that anchor of seva bhav will come up in our soul, that we also want to do seva, we also want to get some experience, and we also want to. I mean, the other day I was speaking to Niranjanji. I was listening to Niranjanji, and Niranjanji very beautifully, he was telling on the online chat that the way he was doing seva for Swamiji, he was pressing his clothes, he was doing his toilet, he was giving him a massage, and he was driving him to Chicago. He was sleeping in the same room. So these are all the little things that he was doing, but they were so precious and they were so great in a way that I have also not done all these things. So surely Niranjanji is very blessed to be with Swamiji and spend those time with Swamiji. Whenever I meet Swamiji, I meet him only for 5-10 minutes because he's so busy. So he will just give me a task to do, and I will be on my way to actually do that task. But when you are doing a meditation, so suddenly that awareness state automatically will come, and Swamiji will tell you whenever we are meditating that this thing is coming into your life. Maybe some kind of problem is coming into your life, and Swamiji, because he wants to save you from that problem, so he will give you a task to do a seva. Then let's say that some kind of a small thing has to be made, or some other program has to be done, or some prachar seva has to be done. So all these things are done so that problem which is coming into your life, you're able to overcome that problem, and at the same time you are able to do the seva also, you are able to come closer to Sadguru also, and you are able to achieve yourself also. So many times I have felt that like my mother, I lost my mother last year, and 3.5 years ago she was directed by cancer. So when she was directed by cancer, suddenly I had to take her for the operation. I had to take her for a uh, uh, chemo sessions and all. And at the same time, Swamiji tells me to do seva for this kind of a Dwarka building. So I was so kind of confused that how am I going to put my time into to do seva, and how am I going to give my time to my mother and to do my business. But amazingly, I finished Swamiji's building in about 6 months' time, which was a miracle. I was able to do all my duties as a son till my mother passed away for 2.5 years. For my mother, I was able to handle my business beautifully. I was able to make myself a new office which I never had. So all these things, Swamiji teaches you. Suddenly, you become so focused in your life that your 24 hours that you have, they would actually become like 100 hours, and you are able to do so much. You are able to sleep less. You are able to sleep only for 4 to 5 hours a day, and you feel energetic as you have slept for 8 hours a day. You're able to go to your office early. You're able to finish your tasks early. You're able to and besides doing seva for my mother, besides doing seva for Swamiji, besides doing my business, besides making building for Swamiji, besides doing some program for Swamiji, I used to also take out time for golf. I used to also take out time to do my parties. I used to, doing my socialization, everything. There is nothing that I missed in my life. So more and more, as I came deeper into Vihangam Yoga, the more complete human being, the more complete individual I felt. And regarding the Man-mukhi and the Guru-mukhi thing, yes, if you know the difference between the Man-mukh and between the Guru-mukh, I think it's beautiful, because a Man-mukh is something that we want to do something for Swamiji on our own, which is not needed. But being Gurmukhi means that we are always looking at the Guru, that the Guru is going to tell us what to do, what seva has to be done. And if we do it with whole heart, with our total intention, no matter how small the seva is, even if you would say that you take this letter and you go and give it to this person, whatever the job he has assigned to us, I tell you, there is some kind of a secret which is hidden in that thing. Even if he would give me a letter and would say that you take to this person and you just give it to him, even if it's a blank note, that maybe on my way I'm going to be meeting some kind of a person who is going to give me some kind of a very large benefit into my business. So he would never say straight to your face, but he would give a kind of a sanket to you that if you do this thing, this is the way I'm telling you to do, so you just do. And if you do, something great is going to be coming into your life. Something great is going to be happening into your life. So this is the way I perceive that that what is the difference between a manmukh and a gurmukh. So manmukh has got no value because we are still in the domain of our mind, in the domain of our man, and we have not entered the zone of a guru. So once when we entered the zone of a guru, so we are always looking for his commandments. We are always looking for his orders, and if he's happy, in 1 second he can show you anything. He can show you the deepest mysteries of this world. He can show you the way this world has come up, the way this entire universe has come up, the way this universe goes back into a particle. Everything he'll show you. And once when these things they actually start happening to you, so you want to have more and more experience. The more you want to be with them, the more you want to do with seva, the more you have to you actually want to be near to him, because his energy is flowing out in all the directions. And once that energy comes into our body, then the spiritual experiences they actually start coming up. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Amitji, for taking all these questions and sharing your experience of your Vihangam Yug journey. Also explaining us that how Vihangam Yoga changed the life spiritually as well as in our material life, how we should live our life, as well as what's the difference in Guru-mukhi, Man-mukhi, how we should do seva. When we all were listening your experience, listening your Sansmaran about how you came to Vihangam Yoga, I just not remember the one couplet of Swarved where Swamiji is saying, उत्कट श्रद्धा गुरुचरण खुले सुषमना द्वार यह प्रत्यक्ष परमान है बहुभेदी जनपार, which means that if you have deep devotion in the lotus feet of Sadgurudev, he can open your 10th door. And this has been experienced by so many disciples. And we are very fortunate that one of those disciples, our chief guest, Sri Amit Palji, is here with us today, and he is sharing his experience, and his experience is the life proof of what Swamiji has written in Swarved. So thank you very much for coming to our today's session and sharing your experience. But before we proceed ahead to conclude the session, I would like to invite Vijay Kumarji to thank our chief guest today for his time and for sharing his experience with all of us. Over to you, Vijayji.
Yeah, thank you, Sudhanshuji, and thank you so very much, our Honorable Amit Palji, for speaking from your heart. We all could feel the truth in your words, transparency in your words, and the authenticity that Vihangam Yoga carries and the Sadguru carries in your conviction, the way you say. We all are very privileged, very blessed to strengthen our devotion towards Vihangam Yoga, towards Sadguru, more by the words coming from people like you. So thank you very much again, Amit Palji, for spending more than 90 minutes with us out of your valuable time with your family life, with your business, with Sadguru Seva. You are very kind that you still accepted our little, we are little people here, still you accepted our
No, no,
request.
sir, please. Thank you so much. Thank you for calling me over and speaking to you. And we are not any small people. We are all the same. We are all the brothers and sisters of Vihangam Yoga, and we are all here to make our life better. And the world that we live in, we want to do something good for the world also. So Swamiji will help us, and he will guide us always. And let's hope in the other trip of Swamiji, whenever Swamiji is coming to America, I could also probably come with him and I could meet you all people. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
yes, Amit Palji will be very, very happy to see you here, see you here in person in America. We'll be very happy. In fact, we'll make a personal request to Swamiji that we need our dear Amit Palji in America.
Oh, sir, sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you.
And,
Thank you very much, sir.
and yeah, at the same time, uh, this is for all of us listeners, viewers here, that Sadhguru Dev is complete by himself. We understood that, we felt that. At the same time, we should not be very boastful of ourselves that, okay, if Amit Palji got so much of experience, oh, then it's easy cake for us too. It is not that way. Please, I also want to be very transparent and open about it. We do not know what soul Amit Palji is. Only Sadhguru Dev knows. So in his in this, the conduct in this life is not reflecting everything that Amit Palji is at the spiritual level. His body, his speech, his hands, his leg will not reflect what his soul is. That only Sadhguru Dev sees. I feel it very strongly that Amit Palji has been sadhak for several lives, and that is why in this life Sadhguru Dev has himself motivated him and guided him to reach to what he has reached today. So please understand that if the seva is due from all of us, then without completing the quota of seva, we cannot become like Amit Palji. Even though with his humble words he says we are all equal, that is his humbleness. But I must say that we are not equal at the level of the spiritual purity that Amit Palji has got already for several births of his tapa that we do not see right now. So the spirituality is a science, it is a journey, and everybody has to complete their quota of Sadguru Seva. Only when Sadguru sees the whole commitment of a soul that yes, this soul is fully desiring to liberate and to obtain the experience of Almighty, it is only then we become eligible like Amit Palji is. So we are very blessed that we have heard Amit Palji direct. Hope we all take inspiration from this and do our bit of seva too towards Sadhguru Dev, towards the world, and become one like Amit Palji. Thank you so much, Amit Palji. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Vijayji, and thank you very much, Mitpalji, for this session. Now we have reached to the last phase of today's session, where we will conclude the session with a short version of Shantipat. Shantipat, we chant for peace for everyone who exists in this universe. May Lord Sadgurudev bless the entire cosmos with peace, love, and prosperity. I'll request Prachi Kshisagarji to come forward and recite last few lines of Shantipat in Lotus Feet of Sadgurudev. Over to you, Prachi ji.
थैंक यू सुधांशु जी. शांति पाठ. हे प्रभु शांति स्वरूप हो, शांति शांतिमय शांति, शांति शांति जन शांति हो, पूर्ण शांतिमय शांति. हे प्रभु शांति प्रदान कर, दूर हो सर्व अशांति। देव सदा फल शांतिमय, शांति शांति सुख शांति। बोलिए सद्गुरुदेव भगवान की जय। ओवर टू यू सुधांशु जी।
Thanks a lot, Prachi ji, for concluding the session with the last four line of Shanti Part. We are very fortunate today that we heard the experience of our respected Amit Pal Singh ji. We got to know his journey in Vihangam Yoga, how he came in Vihangam Yoga, how Sadguru bestowed his blessings on him. When we were hearing his story, his experience about Vihangam Yoga, so many things were coming in our mind. So many couplets of Swarved were coming in our mind. If I just try to say one or two of them, where Swamiji is saying, भूले हुए जग जीव को निज घर दे पहुँचाए, सतपथ पर दर्शक रहे, Sadguru Dev कहाय. And if we see the journey of Amit Pal Singh ji, one more couplet I want to put here from Swarved, where Swamiji is saying, प्रेम भक्ति सदगुरु करो, सदगुरु अलख लखाए, प्रथम मिलन गुरु फिर प्रभु, जन्म मरण दुख जाए. So we have to keep our devotion in the lotus feet of Sadgurudev. We have to attach ourselves continuously with the three pillars, which is seva, sadhana, and satsang. And once we will do that, the blessing of Master will be on us, and we will keep proceeding ahead in our spiritual journey. Next week, we will come again with one more Sevajit Sishya. We will try to learn more from his experience. We will try to know more about Vihangam Yoga and its divinity. Till then, have a wonderful day to all of you. Jai Shri Dev.
Cheers.